One of these teams, the 4th seed Albany Great Danes, meet the number 2 seeded Bryant Bulldogs at Virtue Field, where we will crown an America East Conference champion. Here's how we reach this point. Albany, no stranger to this game at all, topples the 2-time defending league champion Vermont Catamounts, held them to just 4 goals. Bryant, meanwhile, taking down Binghamton as they look to capture an America East championship in its first year in a brand new conference. Glad that you are with us. Should be a fun one. He is Matt Ward, the former Tewaaraton Award winner. Kevin Fitzgerald with you. So let's start with Albany, Matt. The 4 seed, here they are in the title game. How did they do it against Vermont on Thursday?
They did it. It was an all-team effort, right? Holding Vermont to 4 goals is outstanding. But again, offensively, Silas Richmond for them, the freshman from Canada, stepped up big and was bearing shot after shot against the Catamounts. And he was really the marquee player in the interior for this Albany Great Danes offense. You're going to see he does what most Canadians do really well. He puts the ball in the back of the cage and just has a great sense of finding space. And they're going to need a lot more of him because they're going up against a Bryant offense that is absolutely loaded, the best in the conference. And we want to highlight Aiden Goltz, who to me reminds me a lot of their head coach, Brad Ross. His game is that explosive athlete with a quick step here, gets topside, and the absolute hammer from the point. And then again here, just look at the patience in setting up this offensive move and the nice placement on the shot. And I love Aiden Goltz's offensive prowess.
And Matty had a hat trick by the end of the first quarter, finished with 4 goals in that semifinal win. So this is how Albany's lineup looks against Bryant today. The Great Danes gunning for their first conference championship in 5 years. Would be their first NCAA tournament appearance since that time as well. Here's how the aforementioned Brad Ross does counter. And Matt, you nailed it. They average nearly 15 goals a game. That is 8th best in the country.
Yeah, they're a talented offense and can do it all from every position on the field.
Scored 20 against this Albany team 4 weeks ago in a regular season win. Tegan Alexander, by the way, he is between the pipes. He has been dependable. He's had a solid season all year. Matt, I think the story of Thursday was Tommy Heller, who Scott Marr turned to, made a switch in cage ahead of the postseason, and he saved 19 shots, 1 shy of a tournament record. And away we go, the America East Conference Championship game. We will crown a winner in a couple of hours. One of these teams heading to the NCAA tournament, which starts next week. Glad that you're with us at Virtue Field in Vermont. Bryant wins the faceoff. They're in those white uniforms, and so they have it on this end of the field. Albany, of course, in the purple. Bryant scored 12 goals in that win against Binghamton. They needed every single one of them. And at one point, a 3-goal lead in that semifinal win staved off a late Bearcats rally.
And the first few minutes here defensively for Albany are critical. They were down 15-4 at halftime in the first matchup of the season between these two teams. So they need to buckle down and prove that they can stop Bryant, but right there, unable to do so.
And it's Connor McMahon who puts one past Heller to get things started.
And McMahon, a transfer from Mount St. Mary's, with a nice individual effort, matched up against a short stick, drives to his left hand, and I love the quick release, keeps his hands and elbows in tight, changes planes, creates enough angle for the shot, and gets his 15th of the season.
And so Bryant starts with the 1-0 lead in the title game. And this is going to be a critical battle, of course, at the face-off X. Bryant relies on Jacob Alexander and Nathan LaLiberty, where they really just dominated Albany, especially in the first half of that regular season till back on April 8th. Again, that was a 20-16 Bryant victory.
This is a Bryant program. I mean, this is a Bryant program. When you look at their championship pedigree in their conference, 6-0. They've never lost a conference championship game. And so they have a lot of experience while they're new to the America East. This is a team that knows how to play at the big moments.
New head coach, new conference, and yet same result perhaps today. 2-0 lead for the Bulldogs. It's a close-range strike for Jack Lonsinger, a 40-goal scorer himself. It's 2-0.
Lonsinger, one thing he knows to do well is put the ball in the back of the cage. His 41st of the season, 41 goals, 2 assists. He is a critical part to this attack. He knows how to cut the right time. And again, when you watch this Bryant offense play, it's pretty, right? They have 5 players with 40 points or more. The only other program in the country that have those types of number 1 offense, University of Virginia. So they are talented and deep and can beat you from a lot of different levels.
Off the face-off win, a save between the pipes, and Bryant collects it. The Bulldogs back in transition this way with that 2-0 lead. Might have been a crease violation, and yes, Groninger, who's an exceptional offensive player in his own right, gives the ball back to Albany. And so the Great Danes, with a 6-9 record, they won 5 conference games, make it 4. They were 4-3 in league play, and snuck in as the 4 seed to the tournament. Find themselves back in the title game for the first time in 2 years. Last won it 5 years ago.
And give credit to Coach Marr in Albany. They played Syracuse, Cornell, Maryland, Yale. I mean, they're out of conference schedule, I think, versus any of the America East teams, by far the most challenging. And that's probably why you see them having 5 wins in conference and a losing record, but it's put them in position to play their best across the end of the year with a chance for the NCAA tournament.
It's a nice spin move by Sheehan. Albany able to gather it behind the net. Well, and Matt, he played a couple of those aforementioned teams just recently as well. Yale and Penn, both in late April. And that's a big reason why Marr thinks this team is playing with such a greater confidence in general. They gave Penn quite a test. Just a couple seconds left on the shot clock. That's Tegan Alexander, the keeper, is able to scoop it up. When you play Albany, you got to deal with that 10-man ride. Bryant, though, back on the other side of the field. Groninger is number 9 in the white. Arguably their most versatile player on the offensive end. Somebody Brad Ross says is just the heart and soul of this team, especially in the attacking third. There's a long-range rip from Timmy Hackett that's steered away by Heller. Groninger regathers it. So Bryant beat Heller twice to start. And there's the senior's first save. Goal line extended, close range look. Heller denies Hackett that time. And so a pair of stops.
A hero for the Great Danes against Vermont, picking up where he left off here on the side of your screen. The nice save there on the low-to-low, and he followed it up a minute later with the one-on-one stop. Look, he's going to need to get close to 20 saves, I think, for Albany in this game to have a shot. Seems to be seeing the ball pretty well here early on.
Well, he darn near did that on Thursday. 19 saves, tied an America East Conference tournament record. It was set by former Great Dane himself, Kevin Ray. Scott Murray's always got reliable goalies. He's had a history of that. There's an attack at a close-range look. That was knocked away. Thomas Decker couldn't convert. Albany back on this side after the turnover. Welcome to Virtue Field in Burlington, Vermont, the site of the America East Conference Championship game. So who will join Marist as the next team to punch its ticket to the NCAA tournament? Bryant with a 2-0 lead just a few minutes into the first quarter. So glad that you are with us. With Matt Ward, the former Tewaaraton Award winner Kevin Fitzgerald with you. And with this timeout, we step aside momentarily. Come on back, we'll tell you how this one started when we return. America East Championship game, the 2 seed, the Bryant Bulldogs with the early 2-0 lead over the 4th seeded Albany Great Danes. 7 minutes gone in this first quarter. Well, here's how we got here. Quick ones by Bryant, Matt. Early on, they beat Tommy Heller twice.
Yeah, and kind of a nice combination. The individual dodge from McMahon there, and then the nice cut from Lonzinger, who's got 40-plus goals on the year. So, again, a Bryant offense that can really beat you in a lot of different ways, right? They're not just a team offense. If they have to, they can put their head down and take it to the cage, but then they're also really smart off ball, which makes it incredibly challenging to guard defensively.
Albany with a shot attempt right on the doorstep that time. That was Alex Pfeiffer. And so Bryant backs it up, and they'll head back the other way.
And credit Bryant's defense. So far in this game, Albany's created a few opportunities, but all have been very low angle. Bryant's playing pretty sound defense, giving Teagan and Cage the opportunity to see the ball, make the saves. I think that's something that goes underappreciated for great defenses, is how do they play their angles and what shots they're giving up. And so far, Bryant is making Albany's life very difficult.
Couple of shots, but all of them handled by Teagan Alexander. So settle in. We just started here in Burlington. That is Matt Ward, the former Tewaaraton Award winner. Kevin Fitzgerald with you. We crown an America East Conference champion this afternoon in Burlington. There's Groninger. Puts one away. It's 3-0. And 3 different goal scorers, Matt. To your point, in the early minutes for Bryant.
We mentioned Groninger earlier in the game as probably their most rounded player. Right here, you can see, look at the strength. Lowers his shoulder, inside roll, takes that extra step, right? We said, hey, Albany wasn't creating enough angle. Well, Groninger right there shows you how to do it, netting his 34th of the season.
He's now got 62 points. That's one of the best totals in the America East. Leads the conference in that category. Boy, he just muscled right past LaPietro. One of the dependable short stick middies for Albany. Bryant has really controlled the face-offs in the early minutes. And they've won 3 of the first 4. Big reason why they've got the early lead. Matt, you see the record. Bryant, the 2 seed, they took down Binghamton a couple of days ago, 11-4. And they took care of business in conference. its first year in the America East. There were a lot of questions surrounding just how dynamic this offense was going to be. They lost a lot. Matter of fact, 2/3 of their offense from a year ago. And so under first-year head coach Brad Ross and this great staff, well, they have not really skipped a beat. That bouncer goes wide. Albany regathers.
It's been impressive to see what the Bulldogs have been able to put on the field this year, right? Again, you get pillaged by the transfer portal. You lose the talent on the offensive end. Like, how do you come back from that? And they did it with belief in the players that they had. They added some young talent. They added a couple transfers themselves. And they have put up a tour de force on the offensive side of the field all year long.
They average nearly 15 goals a game. That not just leads the conference. It's 8th best in the country. And so that has Scott Marr trying to figure out now how to recover. Albany looking for its first strike. Thomas Decker up top, and there's a score. It's Silas Richmond. After 5 on Thursday, he's got his first in the championship game.
And we highlighted Silas Richmond in the open, showing just how smart he is and how much he understands the game of lacrosse and spacing. And right here, does a nice job stepping away to space, and the 3-quarter release to the far post gets Albany on the board. Their first of the day.
The veteran head man, he loves it. 23 years as the head coach in Albany, and he says he just gushes over this freshman. Calls him just a tough box lacrosse player from Delta, British Columbia. Though here's Bryant again with another face-off win. It's 4th. And again, it's going to be a combination of Jacob Alexander and Nathan LaLiberty. They both were at the X on Thursday for the Bulldogs.
And Albany's got to figure that out, right? If they don't turn some of these face-offs into scraps and they're not getting possession, they don't have much of a fighting chance in this game. They need possession, and right now Albany's just taking to them at the face-off dot.
Yeah, Bryant dominated that category back on April 8th, and they're dominating in the first quarter. It's a 4-1 lead after the latest strike. Aiden Goltz buries one and bounces it past Heller.
And again, we've seen it all from Bryant. The individual efforts off the dodge, the great team offense. This goal right here from Goltz was particularly pleasant offense. Fun to watch, everyone getting involved.
And that forces Scott Marr and Albany to use its first timeout. With 4:19 to go in the first quarter, Bryant with a 3-goal edge. Let's take a moment. Our first reminder to let you know, UFC 288 tonight. Sterling and Cejudo highlight the stacked card. This main event begins at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific, pay-per-view. You can catch it, of course, on ESPN+. To order the event, go to espnplus.com/pay-per-view. Scott Marr's Albany Great Danes. Matt, they are no stranger to this game. They won this league and won this title game 5 times in a span of 6 years, from 2013 to 2018. However, that 2018 season was its last conference championship and the last time it was in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, Coach Marr has done a great job with this program. You know, had it on the verge of national championship type contenders. It's been a little bit tough sledding here the last couple of years, but he's got a nice team. They have an opportunity today to get back to the NCAA tournament, and they're a young team, right? So this is a program that's on the rise, and Coach Marr, as good as anyone in the country in terms of developing talent and finding the players that fit his scheme. You have to love the direction they're back on after a couple down years.
I think this team is playing with a whole bunch of confidence now. They're certainly down early here in the first quarter, but Scott Marr said it after that win a couple of days ago over Vermont. That one felt special. They really wanted to be the team to basically dethrone the two-time defending champs. And Vermont had not only won the league championship game the last couple of years, they had won 19 straight games against conference foes. It was an outrageous streak, and Albany is the team to knock them out. It continues to be a trend during championship week in a sense. All these one seeds, they're out.
And look, Vermont beat Albany 14-7 in the regular season, right? So to be able to look at game film, get that belief in your players is no easy feat for a coach. Credit to Coach Marr and getting his team ready to play against the dominant program in the American East the last number of years.
Mason Druin, who had a critical goal late in Bryant's semifinal win Thursday, misses wide. The Bulldogs back it up. Well, the problem early this afternoon is Bryant with as many goals as Vermont scored in 4 quarters. They've got the 4-1 lead. They have won 5 of the 6 faceoffs early on. So great work from Jacob Alexander at the X. This is Goltz going back to work again. Low worm burner, backed up again. Shot clock draining now inside of 10 seconds. So 9 seconds on the timer, and Groninger starts to work. Muscled in for a goal a few moments ago. Turns the corner, lost it, and Bryant has to give it away. So nice work that time by Will Pepe, the senior defender for the Great Danes, to knock that one away as the shot clock was winding down.
And Albany did a better job there settling into their base defense. Bryant really was getting everything they wanted on previous possessions. And the Great Danes did a nice job there setting down, timing their slides right, getting their second slides in the right place, and limiting Bryant's opportunities.
Well, Matt, now the question is, what's critical for Albany on this end of the field?
It's tough, right? You're down 4-1. You haven't had a ton of possession time, so your defense is getting tired, so you have to be patient. But you also got to start putting some points on the board, because this isn't going to be a 6-5 win for Great Danes. Like, this is going to be a game they have to outscore Bryant. And so it's kind of that mixture of patient offense and put some balls in the back of the net. And right there, they do a nice job getting their second of the day.
Alex Pfeiffer skips that one by Alexander.
And Pfeiffer there from the outside. Right here, the nice roll. Now look, Bryant's got to slide. Now you're in trouble. And right there, just a nice job with the 3-quarter release from Pfeiffer. Maybe one Tegan Alexander wants back, but no less an important goal for the Great Danes.
And the freshman gets on the board. Certainly had a year that was respected by many around the conference. Pfeiffer landed on the all-rookie team. And after the face-off violation, Great Danes have it back. Yeah, the 6-5 type of game, I think that ship has sailed for sure. Point. Remember, it was 5-4 at half a couple of days ago with Albany up a goal over Vermont. And then they shut the Catamounts out the final 30 minutes. Decker spins, knocked down, gets to his feet. And Albany tries to work it around the box. There's a rip. That one skips wide. It was Jack Pucci with the latest look for Albany. Sheehan backed it up. Finds a wide open teammate right in front. Decker couldn't handle it.
And that was nice offense from Albany. That's the type of play, though, you have to finish.
Boy, Decker was all alone, yeah.
And it was a good pass, too. Just kind of lost focus, and again, it's on the outside of the cage there.
Boy, Goltz, yeah, he is frustrated. You see him slamming the stick. That was a wonderful transition look, but instead, Albany with it in the final minute of the first quarter. Bryant got out to the 3-goal lead very quickly. And this would be a big momentum boost if Albany can put one by Alexander before the close of the first. America East Conference Championship game. Winner to the NCAA tournament. 20 seconds. Around the corner. There goes Richmond. Missed it wide. Albany's got one shot with 12.3 left. Palangin. Up top, long-range look. Pucci let it go. And Alexander got his stick on it, turned it aside. Bryant with a 4-2 lead after one quarter. The Bulldogs with its explosive offense got out to that 3-0 lead. They score four different goal scorers. We're done with one in Burlington. Started the second quarter with Bryant, the 2 seed in the America East, leading Albany by a pair of goals. Hey, remember on Sunday, how good has this matchup been the last few years at Petco Park? It's Dodgers and Padres. Sunday night baseball with coverage beginning at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, right here on ESPN. Also, baseball tonight gets things started at 6 Eastern. Mookie Betts mic'd up as well. That'll be fun. There's Brad Ross, first season as the Bryant head coach. He was an assistant here from 2011 to 2014. The All-American at Duke. He played for the iconic former head coach Mike Pressler, who built this program into Division I prominence. Let's go back to April 8th. Matt, this one definitely wasn't a 6-4 type of affair. 36 goals, 90 shots on the day combined by those two.
And let's just take a look at that second quarter, right? Bryant outscored Albany 11-3. Great Dane's going to need to flip that script here in the AE Conference Championship game with the NCAA tournament on the line.
Well, and both
it all starts at the face-off.
Yes, exactly my point. You lead me to it perfectly. That is something that both coaches underscored quite significantly when we talked to them yesterday. I mean, Bryant dominated at the X in that first half, and that's a major reason why they rattled off 11 second quarter goals. So it was 15-4 at half. And, you know, naturally, if you're Bryant or any team, when you have that sizable of a lead, you know, sometimes naturally just come off the gas a little bit. So Albany went on a great run in the third quarter. However, the deficit was just too large, even despite scoring 16 goals. But if there's one deficiency for Bryant, it's that it certainly has allowed high goal totals like that at times this year. Albany, a look in front. Richmond, or rather Peter Salit, tried to shovel it toward the cage. It was knocked away. Sheehan finds Pucci. Pucci shoved out. Ben Wimmer on the doorstep. Bouncer. That's wide. Shot clock expires. Ball back to Bryant.
And you can see Bryant's defensive strategy. They're not too afraid of the Great Danes taking to the cage, winning the one-on-one matchup. So they are sliding at a snail's pace and really packing it in on the center of the defense, which is Albany's strength. Don't let them free in the middle. And they're executing that at a very high level thus far.
First America East Conference title game that features Albany and Bryant. Of course it is. Bryant's first season in the league. So after serving as the preeminent force in the NEC, can they conquer another conference? It's a crease violation. Groninger stepped in there for a second time, I believe, today. And so now ball back to Albany.
Yeah, his second crease violation of the day. The first off a dodge, that one off a cut. Just got a little too close towards the cage, and his momentum carried him into the violation.
And this is an area where Albany can really exploit. They do a fine job of taking care of the ball. They obviously cause a lot of turnovers on their heavy ride. So can they turn those giveaways into some offensive looks, maybe even some transition opportunities? Richmond and Pfeiffer, their two goal scorers in that first quarter. Palangin funneled back behind the cage. Palangin harassed that time by Drew Lucas. In front, Richmond. Nothing doing there. For a moment, he was free. 5 seconds to shoot. Open look, Druin missed it wide. Make it Thomas Decker let that one rip. Albany used up all that shot clock. Stuck with it, had a decent look, but Decker missed it wide.
Yeah, and for Albany, Druin's got to put that in the back of the cage, right? I mean, a long, patient offensive set, and you get the opportunity to just miss it. Right here, we're going to see at the end of the shot clock, Druin steps to space, the nice feed from Richmond, and just misses the cage left.
Albany now, Decker passes it off. Low bouncer, that one's wide though, hits the side of the cage. It was Salit who found Richmond. Bryant in transition. And so now it's like, hey, both teams have settled in a little bit. We saw those early goals, 3 of them quickly for Bryant in the early minutes. And both coaches alluded to it, almost feels that second game of your championship weekend, it's a little more of, hey, who's got some better skilled players who can make plays. Second game for both in 3 days. In front, Groninger buries it. Nice find. He got free, and it's 5-2.
Groninger, the leading scorer for Bryant, gets his second of the afternoon. And McMahon with a nice feed and a nice time cut from Groninger. This Bryant offense is pretty. It's fun to watch. And you have to be able to do both things to contend against the best teams. You have to be able to put your head to the ground and take it to the cage and put in the back of the net early. That forces the defense to start sliding, and then if you have the skill to pick them apart while defenses are rotating, that's why you put up nearly 15 goals a game if you're the Bryant Bulldogs.
Nathan LaLiberty is a little confused, and we've got the flag at the 9:59 mark in the second. So the delay of game gives Albany possession. Albany with a chance on the man up. Down 3, Richmond using that big size. He's 6'4". Although here's a near giveaway, and it is.
It's a bit surprising to me that Albany's man up, operating under 40%. Typically, when you have a bunch of very skilled offensive players, you like that number to be close to 45, 50%. And right there, kind of highlighted some of the issues they've had all year long, not able to generate high quality scoring opportunities when you have the man advantage.
That's a killer. You come away with nothing. Still trailing by 3. So now Bryant going back to work. Timmy Hackett, one half of the Hackett brother tandem. He and his younger brother Johnny Hackett, who's number 22 in the white when he's out there. Both turned in just fantastic seasons. Well, and you've highlighted it. You've liked just the unselfish, nice ball movement, just good offensive rhythm in the early goings for Bryant.
Yeah, I mean, they're a complete offense, right? I mean, so often you see teams that are one-dimensional on the offensive end.
After the missed shot, Pacino. And Albany starts to settle. That's one thing that Brad Ross was not quite pleased with at times in the second half of that Thursday game against Binghamton. Maybe a little too much one-on-one and some hero ball.
You know what, that one-on-one type play though, right? Let's say Bryant wins this game and they play Virginia, Maryland, and Notre Dame. Against those big boys, you have to prove you can win your matchup one-on-one.
Yeah.
And Bryant's not going to shy away from that. Like, they have the players, the quickness, the skill to make you sweat.
Oh, Parker Emmett puts in his first goal of the season. Pulled the old okey doke there, lost it, regathered it, found himself wide open right in front of the cage. A big break for Albany.
And Parker Emmett gets the third goal for the Great Danes to get him closer to the powerhouse Bryant Bulldogs. What an individual effort. Big time goal.
Title game in Burlington, Vermont. Bryant 5, Albany 3. Bulldogs went 5-2 in America East play. They defeated this Albany team 4 weeks ago. Meanwhile, the Great Danes, they played a very difficult out-of-conference schedule. Most recently playing ranked teams like Yale and Penn. By the way, how about the Eli's going to the Ivy League title game tomorrow, toppling Cornell. And Albany took a page out of their book by knocking off Vermont, the top seed and undefeated Catamounts, on Thursday to get back to its first conference championship game in a couple of years. They're trying to win it for the first time since the end of that dominant run in 2018. The scramble off the faceoff, and Bryant takes another.
Bryant takes that one, but Albany is turning them more into a scrap, right? The first 4 or 5 of the game were clean wins for Bryant there. Just a nice job by both teams on the wing.
Goltz and Groninger, 2 skilled attackmen. That's where Brad Ross moved them to before this season. He said when he took over for the retired great Mike Pressler, only had maybe 3 or 4 attackmen. He had to move a couple of guys from midfield to attack. Goltz and Groninger playing a bit more of their natural positions anyway. Here's Groninger, just a dodge right by his man and buries it past Heller. He's got 3 goals, a hat trick in the first half.
Groninger proven to be too tough a matchup for the Danes. Right here, the nice, just individual effort, taking it to the cage. Not afraid to put his body in harm's way. Takes it 5-hole there and gets the 6th of the first half for Bryant.
Took a little
right now
pop from Will Pepe there at the end of the play.
Yeah, and look, if you're watching this game thus far, it's 6-3. But Bryant's been pretty dominant, in my opinion, right now. Kind of getting what they want on the offensive end, winning the loose balls, scraps, winning ground balls, getting a little bit better goalie play. Albany is going to need to get a lot more in transition and kind of in the riding game to put pressure on this Bryant team.
And force some turnovers. Yeah, Bryant 7 of 11 on faceoffs, and it's been Nathan LaLiberty, who's third best faceoff man in the America East, who's 6 of 9. Doorstep, Groninger scores again. 7-3, and he's got 3 in a row for the Bulldogs.
And the Great Danes need to huddle up. Strategy going to be, right now, the early slides are proving to be a big issue on the defensive end as Bryant continues to get easy look after easy look. Groninger gets his 4th back-to-back goals for the leading point getter of this Bryant team.
Yeah, Matt, he has picked this team apart in 2023. So in a span of 4 weeks, let's count it up. Okay, Groninger had 5 on April 8th against this Great Danes team. He's got 4 in the first half. Of course, you expect Albany to make some adjustments. Who's got possession? Great Danes gather it.
And what's tough about Groninger, though, is he's almost got 30 assists on the year, right? So now you start to take away his ability to score. He's not one-dimensional. He's going to make you pay on the other side of that as well. And so credit to him as a player, just not being one-dimensional, being able to beat you in a lot of different ways.
Yeah, he is Ross's tone setter for this offense, and really for the team as well. Just a terrific senior leader. That shot from Palangin whistles high.
But every shot from Albany's contested, right? Look at the difference of when Bryant's on the offensive end and what they've been able to do versus where Albany's at right now. As they get
Richmond hits the upper left 90 with a rifle.
And their best offensive possession right there. They did a nice job working the exterior of the offensive side of the field. And then Richmond steps back post. Look at this, low to high, near side. Near side, that is virtually impossible to do. Typically when you drop your stick, you're going to the far post. But Silas Richmond, the talented freshman, gets his 2nd of the evening, or afternoon, excuse me, with just the picture-perfect release and pinpoint accuracy.
Yeah, and Matt, that's a great illustration of 2 points there. Richmond, he was kind of one-dimensional. First year, he's a freshman. Early this season, Scott Marr said, look, he was kind of firing the same type of shot. We had to work with him. We adjusted some things, and it became a little less predictable. And so you see he's just reaped all the benefits from that. So now 33 goals on the year for this super skilled freshman. But particularly that low to high shot he has worked into his repertoire nicely. Bryant still by 3. That 4-goal advantage was its largest of this first half. I mean, it's been up since the opening minute, when it took an early 3-zip lead. So how does this Albany defense respond? Groninger lulls his man to sleep. Back up top. 20 seconds to shoot. Late first half AEC title game. Groninger, cut off, fires, bounces wide. Just a few seconds on the timer. Albany coming back the other way. It's a stop the Great Danes needed on the heels of the Richmond goal. Albany back in this game, it conjures up all those memories of the Thompson brothers, all three of them. The days of Blaze Reardon, perhaps, between the pipes. Albany went to 6 straight NCAA tournaments from 2013 to 18, but that was the last time they were there. Down 3, a little just sliver of space for Salit. Maybe a little too far out that time. Albany backs it up.
Look, this is a big possession here for Albany. I mean, they can kind of feel like they're stealing something here. If they can get back to within 2 goals based on the time of possession, the shot difference. And they're doing better offensive sets now, right? They've got Bryant sliding, and that should open up the field as they try to jam it to the crease.
Yeah, difficult pass in traffic that time. 90 seconds to go in the first half. Bryant, first year in this conference, trying to conquer another. After the turnover, Albany, boys, got a great second chance here. Game clock, they could take it all the way down. They've got the full 65-second timer now with a minute to go in the half. Here's Jack Pucci, the all-conference selection. The senior transfer finds Pfeiffer, who's got a goal in this first half. Pfeiffer lets it fly and scores from deep. A huge one for Albany just before half.
Alex Pfeiffer. A thing of beauty, the nice split dodge, set your feet, picture perfect form. Look at that, the hip torque, the arm release. His second of the afternoon gets Albany within 2.
Scott Marr's got a couple of really terrific freshmen. Pfeiffer, the other half of that Richmond-Pfeiffer tandem. And here we go. 36.1 to go. Albany is going to have a man-up opportunity. Back-to-back goals for the Great Danes. Can they make it 3 in a row before the end of the half? And I believe Ross just took a timeout. So Bryant needs a minute to talk it over with 36.1 to go in the first half. America East Conference Championship game. So Matt's second man-up opportunity for the Great Danes today. All right, and this is what happened, by the way, the first time these two met. Albany was 4 of 8 on the man-up, and boy, you can see the disparity in the penalties the first time these two met. It was a 20-16 Bryant win.
Yeah, and Coach Ross here understands the moment. Yeah, we're still early in the game. But Mr. Momentum is on Albany's side, and now they have a man-up opportunity. With a chance to get within 1 to close the first half. Take a great timeout from Coach Ross. Just take a breath. Get your scheme in place.
And so this could become a really fruitful sequence for Albany, Matt, because Here's what happened just a few moments ago. Here's Pfeiffer with the latest goal.
It's just ridiculous. Look at that accuracy to the far post. Go back to back, right? You have Richmond with the near side low to high, and then Pfeiffer there, peppering it overhand, your more traditional release to the far post.
Beating Tegan Alexander. And so that goal was scored maybe 15 seconds ago of game action, or really only 5 to 10 or so. Now, Albany had just gathered possession. They could have taken, basically it's that latest possession all the way down to the buzzer, but Pfeiffer scores it, and after the penalty, here we go. Huge opportunity with 20 seconds left. Richmond shovels it, doorstep, and a goal! Albany, picture perfect. Amos Whitcomb gets the fourth-seeded Great Danes back within a goal. It's a 3-0 run.
If you want to see great ball movement, take a look at this. The Great Danes doing a nice job passing around the perimeter. Once you get it inside and you get the defense rotating like that, you're going to get Whitcomb wide open on the doorstep. What a run here for the Great Danes as he gets his first of the season. Not a bad thing to have your first goal be that impactful.
And now Albany wins the face-off, 10 seconds left. They're on a 3-goal run here. 6 seconds. Got to do something. Richmond fires lefty and awkward. Just had to get rid of it. And Albany with a surge, a critical 3-goal sequence to close the first half. Bryant, Matt had a 7-3 lead. Albany behind not just Richmond and Pfeiffer, a couple of first goal scorers on the season with Emmett and Whitcomb finding the back of the net. They're back within one. However, this has been a foreboding position for Bryant opponents, because look, the Bulldogs are 11-0 this year when they have had the halftime lead.
America East is one of the most comprehensive and broad-based Division I athletics conferences in the country.
And so stick around before we go to our halftime timeout. We're going to talk with Brad Ross, the first-year head man of these Bryant Bulldogs who are trying to take down and conquer another conference. Hey, Coach, we really appreciate you taking a moment here. Sure. Obviously, Albany ends on a 3-0 run. However, just overall collectively, what was your assessment of your team's performance in that first half?
You know, honestly, I thought it was up and down. You know, when we settled down and did a good job and cleared the ball, we were okay. You know, where we got into trouble in that second quarter was obviously the face-off violations and kind of panicking in the clear, and that gave them a lot of life. So we just got to settle ourselves down.
On the offensive end, obviously, Kevin Groninger making an impact. Tell us a little about him and how important he'll be here in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, I think we got to monitor Kevin because he's carrying the load a lot right now. You know, they're putting a short stick on Jack Lonsinger, which is something we really haven't seen a whole lot, you know, which kind of takes Timmy Hackett a little bit out of the game from a dodging perspective against a short stick. So I'm pleased with the invert in the big little. We got to monitor him, and Aiden's going to have to help us out here a little bit.
Coach, thanks for doing this. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thanks, guys.
And so Bryant takes a 1-goal lead into the locker room at half. An exciting finish. They were up 7-3. Albany scores 3 straight. We got a 1-goal game in the America East Conference Championship game. Halftime at Virtue Field in Burlington, Vermont. The America East Championship game. 30 minutes down, 30 minutes to go. Glad that you are with us this afternoon with Matt Ward, Kevin Fitzgerald back with you. So, Matt, we know at this point Bryant and Albany, 2 great seasons. We have the 2 and the 4 seeds meeting in this title game. And so let's take a peek back at how this year played out in the America East, because the one team that's maybe conspicuously missing were the unbeaten Catamounts that had won 19 straight games against AE foes, and they're the 2-time defending champs. Ousted on Thursday.
Yeah, I mean, look, the American East, it's a new-look conference, right? You lose Stony Brook from a year ago. you add Bryant, you add Merrimack. At the dot, they've been able to work their way back into this this game. Bryant dominated possession early on, not so much here as Albany's made some adjustments.
And right now they're dead even. They're both 8 of 16, so 50-50 again after Bryant won 7 of the first 11. The Bulldogs took down Binghamton in a 1-goal affair on Thursday. That was a 12-11 final, a game in which it had a 3-goal lead in the third quarter. Binghamton came back. They couldn't mount the entire comeback, though. Albany causes the turnover. They're really good at that. They lead the conference in caused turnovers, and here come the Great Danes.
This is a different team from the first 5 minutes of the game. They are playing with belief, energy, physicality.
It's a spirited sideline as well, I would say, for much of that second quarter, and it bleeds over here into the third. Decker gets free for a moment and converts. Thomas Decker. Boy, he had an open look in that first half, missed it, would not be denied this time. We're tied at 7.
Thomas Decker. Again, we said Bryant was going to be slow to go, right? That slide is late. And Decker going to his strong hand. Changes planes. As more net appears as he gets closer towards the center of the field. He buries in the back of the cage. Donatus at 7.
And so here we go, a 4-0 Albany run, although there's a flag that comes flying after the faceoff. And so Bryant's going to have an opportunity. Here it is. That was on LaPietro, so it's a 30-second man up for the Bulldogs. 4-0 scoring run for Albany. Who does Bryant turn to? Hackett down to Groninger. The attackman swings around and scores. It's 5 for Groninger.
And a nice, efficient, man-up offensive play there for Bryant. Just crisp passing. And right here, Groninger knows that Albany doesn't have the slide man on the backside. He actually recognizes it way early in the play, and he's going to have an opportunity to go back post. 5 goals and counting for the junior from California.
We've got an entire second half to play. Kevin Groninger with 10 goals against Albany this year, 5 on April 8th. Nick Carnes had his sights set on the cage. He's got a couple of goals after faceoffs this year. Bryant's able to ward it off. Now the 10-man Ryan from the Great Danes.
This is a Bryant team. They make that turnover there. But this is a Bryant team that's had experience in close games all year. They've had 5 games decided by 2 or less goals, 4 of them by 1. And so they're not going to panic while they're facing a tough Albany team that's found belief. From a lost season to the opportunity to be in the NCAA tournament.
Yep. The latest 2 days ago. There's a sidewinding rip, that time from Ben Wimmer. Bryant handles it, and they're back the other way. Again, it was the 1-goal win over Binghamton on Thursday to vault the Bulldogs into the title game, although there was some miscommunication there, and the Bulldogs give it away once again on consecutive possessions. Albany, meanwhile, went 4-3 in league play, won a couple of games down the stretch that vaulted them into this 4-team field. And they hold the 2-time defending league champs, the Catamounts, for right here in Vermont, to 4 goals on Thursday to lift themselves back to the conference title game. Decker slips, regains his footing. Decker fights through a pair of defenders, hits the side of the net, and then Alexander smothers it. Alexander feeds it, picked off. And Decker dropped it and then got drilled. Boy, this is still free. It's a bit of a scramble. Alexander now has it.
Albany making it very challenging for Bryant to clear the ball. 3 straight failed opportunities for them to get into the offensive set. Credit the Great Danes and the pressure they're applying.
Yeah, that is their specialty. A staple of Scott Marr's teams over the years in the capital city. Each team with a goal in the second half.
And this is Hackett here, getting a match against a short stick. Coach Ross mentioned this going into the break. This is where he's used to operating his freshman campaign. Draws the slide. Now Bryant's going to be cooking with gas.
This is Goltz, their top goal scorer. Albany trying to pack it in here. Here's Hackett. Turns, fires, finds a teammate. Groninger regathers it. Groninger takes several hits. Groninger fights out of it, but the shot clock was expiring anyway. So Albany gets the stop.
That's painful to be running through triple teams, maintain possession, and the shot clock horn sounds. Nice.
Groninger, tough dude.
Yeah, but that's a nice job for the Great Danes, kind of really clamping down, understanding the situation, and not letting him get out of that congestion.
Here's the last sentence.
Just look at the beating he takes here. 3-4 Great Danes. Just making his life difficult.
If you needed a reminder of just how painful it was, according to Matt. So that's the 10th, though, Bryant turnover. So that is where Albany has excelled, turning the Bulldogs over. Got a +4 advantage in terms of the turnovers. Richmond got barged into.
Oh my gosh, Great Dane, Albany is all over the place on these rides. Stole another
like
possession
Richmond,
here.
I think Richmond is the player who's still down. That is the stud freshman, Silas Richmond, who scored 5 goals on Thursday, and he is undoubtedly the most prolific player for this Albany offense.
And we're going to see here, I believe it's on his individual effort when he has the ball in his stick. He's matched up, I believe, against Tanner Alexander. It looks like pretty good physical defense at first glance.
Oh.
Yeah, so that was not off the dodge. It was on the loose ball, ground ball there. Hopefully he's okay. Seems to be walking off.
Yeah, Richmond jogs off for a moment, presumably to just regather himself. Silas Richmond, the freshman from Delta, British Columbia. All rookie team selection. Scott Marr just loves the attitude, the effort, the fire, the enthusiasm about lacrosse to the table. He says he bothers me all the time. He wants to know the history of Albany lacrosse and really cares about the game. And Scott loves having him as the table setter for the offense. Albany's got it without Richmond. So now, who does it turn to down a goal? In front, look who's open! Pfeiffer finds Peter Salit, and it's Salit's first goal of the afternoon to tie things back up at 8 apiece.
Albany finds a way to tie the game with Richmond on the sideline. And Pfeiffer, another freshman, couple goals early on, now takes on the role of quarterback and finds Salit on the post. All tied up here, the University of Vermont.
Midway through the third quarter, America East Championship game. We're going to crown a tournament champ and send one of these programs to the NCAA tournament later this afternoon. One more reminder, UFC 288 tonight from the Prudential Center in Newark. A stacked deck from top to bottom. We got Sterling and Cejudo. The main event, the bantamweight title bout between those two. And remember to order the main card. Go to espnplus.com/pay-per-view. How about Albany a moment ago, Matt, dissecting the Bryant defense?
Yeah, and then Pfeiffer, just love his game, right? He's made Bryant pay a couple times on the outside with his dodging abilities there. The nice pass to knot this game up. I mean, he's been, to me, the best dodger for the Great Danes in this contest. And if you compare him with Silas Richmond, right, two freshmen, there's going to be a lot of points put on the board in Albany, New York, the next number of years.
And no doubt about it. Here's a close range and a good look that time from Jack Lonsinger. Heller channeling his performance from a couple of days ago, turns that one away. Can Albany take its first lead of the afternoon? The 4 seed dethroned the two-time defending champs 2 nights ago. And they've got possession after the Heller save. You know, Heller has made a few more saves, but even just defensively, it looks like Albany has been a little tighter. Richmond went to the sideline a few moments ago. He is back out there. There he is. Left side of your screen, number 15 in the purple.
Look, Albany's found themselves in for the last
And they found a lead.
Last quarter, half, 2 quarters, they've been the better team. Coach Marr's fired up. Parker Emmett. 2 goals on 2 shots. Again, they're starting to make Bryant pay in the interior. Just the perfectly timed cut. The great pass.
Second goal of the season. He's got them both today. Parker Emmett, the sophomore from Houston, Georgia. When he was inserted into the lineup and at the attack position a bit more of late, that is what jump-started the offense in recent weeks for Albany, and particularly on Thursday against Vermont. An Albany team that was down 4 goals and down for the large part of that first half. have taken their first lead in the title game. Here's Hackett, though, with a close-range look. Buries it past Heller.
The spectacular freshman doing what he's done all season, getting to the heart of the defense. And right here you can see the over-the-head check, tucks his stick, unafraid of the contact, and buries it to the far post. The kid has got jets. He can absolutely fly.
First goal of this one, 40th of the year. And then the whistle after the faceoff. Liberty is flummoxed again.
I think initially they were looking to see if there was a hold on Bryant. Good job from the refs coming together, discussing the stoppage in play, and they award the ball back to Bryant. And as I say that, they change their mind again.
Yeah, wow, ball back to it. So Albany is going to take possession here. And look at how those faceoffs have evened up a bit. At one point, they were 7-4 in favor of Bryant.
And the score was 7-4. You know, you look at it.
Yeah.
It's look, if you're going to highlight one key stat moving forward, that'll be it for me, right? It's been the tail of this game. As Bryant was controlling the faceoffs and possession, they were able to score and dominate, and since then, those goals have inverted, and now Great Danes have kind of really dictated the pace of play.
It was Jacob Alexander who really flipped the momentum of their game a couple of days ago against Binghamton. Alexander was 11-17 at the dot in that semifinal win. We have seen more of La Liberty. Again, both experienced veterans capable at the X. Here's Silas. Oh boy, he got free for a moment. Albany backs it up.
Tegan Alexander did a nice job in the cage for Bryant, covering from post to post and making that shot a little more complicated for Silas Richmond.
Nice save, Alexander. Denies Jack Pucci that time. Had that high shot coming from the big 6'5" senior from New York. And let's see if Bryant can establish a little rhythm on this side of the field. Albany has had it in its attacking third for much of this quarter.
And the nice save there, and what's critical from Alexander in the cage is maintaining possession, catching that clean. Why? Because it makes the life of the middies clearing it from end to end that much easier, right? You're able to get out and break before Albany can set up their ride.
Bryant in attack mode now. That shot whistles wide from Aiden Goltz, who had the one goal in the first quarter. This Bryant offense that scored 20 goals against Albany back in April, 4 weeks ago, has been held largely in check, let's say, the last 15 minutes of gameplay. Bouncer collected on the doorstep. Turnaround shot and a shove towards the net. Heller collects it. Conference title game in Burlington was a little one-sided for the first quarter and a half. Since then, Albany has stormed back into this one, and it's been played within a goal or two. That's it. From the later stages of the second quarter to this point. Now late in the third. Decker with that same move again, swimming past his man, missed it wide. But Albany backs it up. Kesselring gets some time here. He's behind the cage. Decker open momentarily, knocked wide. Backed up by Albany. And so it's Keelan Seneca who's got it.
Decker has Bryant guessing defensively.
One more time.
He's showing the versatility in moves though, right? The first one, the swim dodge, right to left. The next, a strong sweep to the middle, and there, the split roll combo.
Before the shot clock expires, Richmond misses it, so Bryant is able to withstand the barrage of Thomas Decker. He's now taken 7 shots in this game. That's the most for any Albany player. Decker leading the way. He's got 4 points for the Great Danes. Groninger has 6 for the Bulldogs, including those 5 goals. Bryant's going to keep it here. "90 seconds to go in the third quarter. We are knotted up at 9. Mason Druin finds Goltz. Goal line extended. Bryant patient here. Looking for a quality shot. Less than 30 seconds on the shot clock. Inside of a minute to go in the third. Druin's got it. Turns, fires, knocked away by Heller. Bryant, though, got a stick on that. They get it back inside the crease for Heller. They've got to go now. They want to clear it in time. Seven saves for Heller, 10 for Tegan Alexander on this side. Albany late in the third quarter, just like at the end of the second, with possession. Palangian spins, finds Pfeiffer, and he's got another. Albany retakes the lead and got a hat trick.
Goals at the end of quarters, minute and under. Incredibly impactful as it relates to momentum as Pfeiffer gets his third to give Albany a 1-goal lead heading into the fourth quarter.
That's 3 straight quarters now where, yes, to your point, I think it's a great point you bring up. Albany has scored, at least we think, with 8.6 to go. The final score of each period. Late in the first to make it a 2-goal game. Late in the second to make it a 1-goal game. And late in the third, Pfeiffer's latest gives the Great Danes the 1-goal lead with 1 quarter to go.
Tommy Heller, the star of the upset against Vermont, coming up huge in the third quarter, only allowing 2 goals for the Bulldogs as the Great Danes have a 1-goal lead heading into the fourth quarter.
Everybody, welcome to the Women's and Men's NCAA Lacrosse Selection Special.
This is one of those forever games.
Unpredictable. You don't know who your star is going to be, and it doesn't matter.
Alley stings the corner. The top-seeded Tar Heels are national champions.
It is right around the corner. The NCAA tournaments, both the men's and women's side. And remember, the selection show tomorrow night for both tournaments, 9 Eastern on ESPNU. Here are the championship games today. You saw Marist topple Siena, so we've got a 4 seed from one conference tournament advancing to the NCAA tournament. Richmond beats High Point. We still have Delaware and Stony Brook, Georgetown and Denver. I guess, Matt, a lot of folks rooting for Maryland from several conferences. So, you know, with at-large bids, of course, they're always on premium. There's only 8 of them. And, you know, I think what we saw in the Ivy League tournament yesterday is going to influence some things as well. Yale and Princeton, the 3 and 4 seeds moving on. It's been a fun week.
That Michigan game's the chaos game, right? If the Wolverines are able to beat Maryland again, there's going to be some teams sweating, right? That are not sure they're coming into that and could be eligible for the NCAA tournament. I mean, look, the Ivy League, we thought at some point in the season maybe a 1-2 bid league. Now they could get 4, you know?
Right.
And so that game is massive.
Well, and so now you start looking at some things and you go, well, okay, it's Maryland. Surely they'll take care of business. They lost to this Michigan team earlier this year. And can you imagine if, you know, Michigan, that could be 4 teams from the Big Ten. We don't want to get ahead of ourselves, however. It's certainly a tall task for Michigan. Bryant stuffed. Again, it's Tommy Heller, and he has been clutch in this tournament when he has needed to be. The 19 saves, Matt, Thursday against the top seed and 2-time defending league champ Vermont Catamounts. And today, all of a sudden, that total starting to creep up. He has now been tasked with the assignment of protecting a 1-goal lead for his team. Albany, though, it's a rare turnover. We've seen Bryant give it away a bit more frequently, but Albany regathers.
Albany's ride has been a problem for Bryant all game long. It's led to just extended possession after extended possession for the Great Danes. That wears down a defense.
11 Bryant turnovers. And here's Albany with possession, up 1 after trailing by 4 goals in the second quarter. Nice pass inside. Looked like Richmond was denied that time by Alexander. And then the flip back to the keeper. Nice defensive sequence for Bryant. Here they go. They got to get past this 10-man ride. Luke Grove on the move. The short stick. Bryant led for the entirety of this one until late in the third quarter. Albany has scored the final goal in all 3 frames. Timely scoring has helped this Great Danes team looking for its first title in 5 years. Groninger cut off, falls down, somehow fights out of the chaos again.
Potentially a trip there for Albany. Again, it looked like they got their feet tangled, but oftentimes when you have an advantage as a Dodger, which Groninger did, they throw the flag, but they maintain possession, and they get the critical tying goal here early in the fourth quarter.
Jack Lonsinger with his second.
And right here, it's Lonsinger showing goal line extended. He's a left-handed player. Again, every step you take up the field increases the angle as a shooter, and he's able to get to the far post.
42 goals on the year for Lonsinger. Albany with an open look. That time it was Carnes, but he bounced it wide of the cage. Albany keeps it.
And both these teams coming to the game, goalkeepers save less than 50%. Has not been a weakness today. They have both been outstanding in the cage. Heller and Alexander giving it their all.
11 saves for Tegan Alexander between the pipes for Bryant. Even at 10 after the Lonsinger goal. Belanger scanning. Belanger flips to Richmond. Guarded very closely that time. Great defense by Cole Garvey.
Albany fires one off the post. They'll get a shot clock reset here. Keep an eye on Bryant's defense. They have been under pressure a lot here in the second half. Definitely more tread on their tires in the Great Danes defense as this game progresses.
Emmett nearly lost it. Oh, gets it jarred away this time. Who wants it? Ball is still loose. Fight for it. Bryant comes away with it out of the scrum.
This could be the difference in the. It's gonna be the difference in the game here. Is what Albany's doing on the ride.
Wow, and Silas Richmond wants that one back. Albany's most prolific scorer with a pair of goals today on the heels of a 5-goal performance against Vermont on Thursday. Inside of 10 minutes now, America East Championship. Richmond rips it, blocked in front. Looked like Brody Rule, the senior from Colorado, was the one to deflect it. He's the closest to it, and Bryant coming back the other way if it can survive the ride. Zach Lanoux gets it across midfield. And now the Bulldogs can set something up. Phenomenal title game in Burlington.
And if I'm Bryant, I get it, the freshman Hackett right here, matched up against the short stick, really for the second time all game. The Great Danes are going to have to slide and slide early. Look at this explosive athlete. He's a lefty, so he's setting him up here.
Johnny Hackett, all the speed, rookie of the year in the conference. McMahon, back to Hackett. Starts to attack. Groninger now. Albany making things difficult. Groninger, jump shot. Bounces and scooped back up by Johnny Hackett. 5 seconds on the timer. Hackett lets it fly. Albany turns away the Bulldogs again. Bryant had a 7-3 lead. That was midway through the second quarter. And things have flipped entirely since then.
These teams can feel the pressure. A few careless errors here from both teams on simple exchanges.
Bryant's trying to go back to the NCAA tournament for the first time in 2 years. That was when it was still in the NEC. This, its first season in the America East. Can it conquer another conference like it did in the NEC when they won 7 conference tournament titles in a 12-year span?
They've never lost a conference championship game, ever.
Yeah. Mike Pressler, a terrific former coach. He's passed the baton to Brad Ross, his former All-American at Duke, trying to keep the standard where folks expected in Smithfield. Druin threw it into a crowd. Albany comes away with it. Albany with a chance. Albany patient. And Salit slows it down. Every possession so critical in these waning moments. Pucci lost it. Tanner Alexander comes away with it.
What a
Alexander,
round
he's
ball.
been so good, yeah.
That was impressive. Bryant with another turnover here. Oh, they maintained possession. Lost it there. I think that's a great timeout from Brad Ross. I was thinking, it looks like here's a moment where Coach Ross probably wants to use a timeout. Credit him to knowing and being aware of where we are in this game. It's a tight one. The American East Championship knotted up with 6 minutes left.
Just a brilliant title game, even at 10, between the 2 seed, the Bryant Bulldogs, and the Albany Great Danes. A little more than 6 minutes to go in this championship bout. One more reminder, Sunday night baseball this week. It features the NL West rivals, the Dodgers and Padres at Petco Park. Sunday at 7 Eastern. Coverage begins at 6 Eastern with baseball tonight and Sunday night countdown. We have been determining league champions all weekend. Who is going to be the next, Matt, to punch its ticket to the NCAA tournament? Is it going to be Albany for the first time in 5 years? Will it be a renaissance for the Great Danes or Bryant? Will it conquer another conference and win the league in its first season in the America East? Albany has had the major shot advantage, as you see. Bryant's got it on this end. A sweeping low bouncer wide. Backed up by Bryant. The latest look from Jack Lonsinger.
And if I'm Bryant offensively, Tommy Heller for the Great Danes in the cage, he is going low real early. And so they should be shooting the ball towards the top portion of the cage when they get their hands free, something to keep an eye on, because it's become very apparent that he knows that Bryant likes to shoot it low, and he is flopping to the ground.
Yeah, great pickup. Heller's got 9 saves. In front, Hackett bounces it. Looked like it bounced and ricocheted off the pipe. Bryant's got it with 14 on the shot clock. 5:15 to go in the 4th quarter. Championship on the line in Burlington. What a move to the cage! Groninger took flight. The celebration delayed. Did he step on the crease again? Yeah, ball back to Albany. No goal.
They're going to call him landing in the goal mouth. So the rule is you can jump, but if you land in this interior circle here, it's considered diving towards the goal mouth. We're going to see here, he lands right in the goal mouth there. That's a good call from the officials. No push by the Great Danes. If they had made contact in his back and forced him to launch, the goal would have stood. A new rule change this year. But right there, I think the refs got that right.
Great catch, and it wipes away what would have been Bryant's go-ahead goal with 4:33 to go. Albany takes a timeout. Time winding down this Bryant offense, which has been so good all year. Look at the numbers. Goal shot percentage, top 10 in the nation in both of those categories, plus their clear percentage coming in, Matt, was very impressive. They've struggled against this Albany ride. This Bulldogs team has been an explosive offense, held to 10 goals in this title game.
Yeah, look, those offensive numbers a lot of times come from just extra possessions, and it's because they clear the ball really well. They do great on the ground balls. Today, Again, 10 goals, not bad, but not up to what they're used to. I think it's directly tied to some of the careless errors in the middle of the field and some of the great riding of this Great Dane attack and midfield units to steal away some of those possessions Bryant's typically used to having.
Brad Ross, first year head man after taking over for Mike Pressler, who has certainly led Bryant from Division II to Division I glory. 5 NCAA tournaments over a 10-year span, the latest 2 years ago. So Ross, the 3-time All-American at Duke for Mike Pressler. Spent the last couple of years at Navy, Ohio State before that, was an assistant in 2014. Remember when that Bryant team upended Syracuse in the first round of the NCAA tournament that year. He is back and has brought the offensive genius with him. Albany's got it though. Little more than 4 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Albany's got to scramble for it. Scoot it back behind the net. Bryant takes over. Ronan does a really fine job getting it away from the ride and on this side of the field. Bryant was in a close one on Thursday, won a 1-goal game against the 3rd seed Binghamton Bearcats. Johnny Hackett, the speedster, turned away. McMahon lets it go. Taken by Albany. Three minutes to go in regulation.
Not a great shot for McMahon there. Early on, Bryant was able to find creases in the interior. Much different story here as the Great Danes have made some pretty nice adjustments defensively.
Albany once down 7-3 with 5 minutes to go in the second quarter. Has possession with things tied up, and they take the lead again. It's Richmond.
And a nice play here from the Great Danes. The dodge off the low wing. Richmond finding the space. And a nice composure on the finish. His understanding of the space relationship with the Dodger far beyond his years as a freshman.
Bleeds everything Lacrosse. The hat trick today, and Albany wins its third face-off. It's won one more than Bryant, and it's got the 1-goal advantage as well. Now there's 2 minutes to go. And we have seen this all afternoon. Albany scoring the goals late in quarters that proved to be significant and momentous for various reasons.
And I think Albany's done a great job dictating the pace of this game after a quick start for Bryant where they were really accelerating and speeding up the game. Albany has been very patient offensively, using the shot clock, wearing down this defense.
And the clock draining now, Matt, 1 minute and 20 seconds. This is Declan Polangin. Shoved out, goal line extended. Wimmer back up top to Kesselring. 10 seconds to go on the shot clock. Palangin finds again, hit the top of the crossbar, bounces away, and Bryant a huge opportunity. Downfield, ball is free. Who wants it? Albany scoops it up with 45 seconds to go. A careless turnover by Bryant in transition. Who's got it out of the scrum? Bryant takes it with 33.2 to go, and Bryant takes the timeout. Whoa!
You can see Coach Ross on the sideline just hoping and praying that his team would possess the ball for a mere moment. And he's right on top of it as they collect possession, and they get the critical timeout. 30 seconds down by 1. Lucky. They forced the issue there. They had possession. They tried to create some transition, and it was just a sloppy execution. But the scrap and the hustle on the offensive end gets the ball back. Now they have an opportunity for a moment of greatness to knot this game at 11.
Nearly a dire blow, and so Scott Marr's team has to make one last stand. Former national champion as a player, he took this Albany team to the Final Four 5 years ago, but let's switch it back to Bryant for a moment. So they've got possession. Matt, the shot clock's not an issue. You got 30 seconds left. What's the strategy, and where is Bryant looking right now? Down a goal.
For them, I think you're starting with Johnny Hackett on the wing, trying to create some sort of movement from the Great Danes defense, and then you're going to get the ball, I would imagine, behind the cage to Groninger, who's had a great evening, or a great outing. Your best player.
5-goal afternoon for Groninger. 33.2 to go. Bryant's season on the line. Down a goal. This is Groninger. Fires in front. That shot is wide. It might have nicked the crossbar. That was Lansinger, who got a point-blank look. 24 seconds left. Bryant with one more chance. Down a goal. Title game. Chance at an NCAA tournament. That's a goal! Timmy Hackett.
And Groninger. I mean, that backdoor feed to Hackett. Give me a break. Falling away. Able to get enough heat on that pass to skip it through the Great Dane defense to find the wide open Hackett on the back door. 14 seconds left. We've got a tie ball game.
Matt, that ground ball that Jack Lansinger secured right before the timeout proves to be so pivotal. Bryant scores. There's 14.8 left, so still one last chance for whoever wins the faceoff. And look what Albany's done, by the way, at the end of quarters. Several times they've scored, Matt, right at the end of quarters.
Right in the first quarter, they get that one. And now in the second quarter, they get two with less than a minute to go. So Albany has had a ton of success in this game in the waning moments of a quarter. And then right here, just again in the third quarter. And then just another quarter, another story. The fourth goal in the last moments of a period. Can they do it again? 3 goals in less than 40 seconds on the shot clock. Excuse me, on the game clock at the end of a period. They're gonna have a, here we go, let's take a look.
Yep, it's Carnes at the Liberty. Who wants it? The Liberty, he's got it. 10 seconds left, lets it go. Missed it wide, backed up by Groninger. Can Bryant pull off the impossible? 8 seconds, Groninger, 5 goals today. Lets it rip, wide. And it bounces with 1/10 of a second on the timer. And you know what that means. We are going to overtime to determine the America East title. And the big one by Timmy Hackett that got it done right here at the end of regulation. The great shot fake finds the twine. 11 up. We've got overtime next. The America East title game heads to overtime with Albany ahead by a goal with just seconds remaining. Timmy Hackett scored with 15 seconds to go for Bryant to knot it up at 11. So here we go, overtime. It's sudden death and sudden victory. If you score, you win. 4-minute periods until one of those teams scores. And of course, you have a quick intermission between overtime. So, wow, this has been a fun one, and exciting and exhilarating one at Virtue Field in Burlington this afternoon. With Matt Ward, Kevin Fitzgerald with you. Bryant won the opening faceoff, as it did often early in this game. You know, how about just the internal fortitude there from a Bryant team that Matt had a 4-goal lead early. You talked about the close games Brad Ross's team has played in all year. 3 times in this second half, Albany went ahead by a goal. And all 3 times, Bryant answered with a score. The latest one to send this to overtime.
The reason you play the out-of-conference schedule that both these teams candidly have played is for moments like this. To be under pressure, to gain the confidence that you can make the big play in the big moment. And right now, offensively, I don't think you change from what's worked the majority of the game. You're going to want the ball in Groninger's stick. Let him continue to what he's done all afternoon.
The last 5 champs from the America East, you notice Bryant is missing. That's because they conquered the NEC. This their first year in the America East. Can they go 7-0 in conference title games in Division I history? Can they win this league in their first year? Or is Albany going back to the tournament for the first time in 5 years? After the timeout, this is Groninger. McMahon back up top, sidewinder. Heller sweeps it away low. He's done a nice job of getting down there and making the low saves. Now it's Albany on the run. And so Scott Marr answers with a timeout of his own. Heller makes the save.
We highlighted early in the game.
Gold shot.
Yeah, we highlighted early in the game that he is prone to going low. And that shot right there by Goltz played to his strength. The low portion of the cage as he gains possession for the Great Danes. We get to the offensive zone, call a timeout to set up their offensive play. Right here, good offensive set. I just don't like the momentum there. You know, Goltz is catching that with his weight going away from the cage, feet planted in the ground. You try for a better opportunity than that, especially with a goalie like Heller who's been hot as of late.
10 saves now for Heller, had 19 on Thursday. And so now the strategy falls into Scott Marr's huddle. His team once down by 4 goals back in the second quarter. They had to claw and climb their way back. 3 times took a 1-goal lead in the second half, only to see Bryant even things up shortly thereafterward. 29 saves this week for Heller.
And look for the Great Danes here offensively to initiate. My guess would be with number 19, Alex Pfeiffer, or number 20, Thomas Decker, to get the Bryant Bulldogs sliding. And then that opens up their passing lanes to the interior where they're particularly strong.
Can Albany clinch it in overtime? First goal wins it. Pfeiffer didn't quite have an angle. Declan Palangin at X, scanning. Back up top, this is Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer in front. Skip pass, knocked down. Dangerous pass, and Bryant comes away with it. Drew Lucas, the super reliable sophomore defender, knocked that risky pass down, and here we go. Bryant's got it.
And Bryant incredibly disciplined on the defensive side of the field there. They were not going to slide. They played their angles. They played patient defense. They clamped down on the interior like we saw early in the game and knocked that skip pass down to give themselves another opportunity on the offensive end.
Second look, Goltz dropped it, went off of his cross, still free, bouncing. Goltz has it, but
it's an over and back.
he went over, yep.
Nice awareness for the Great Danes as they push in transition.
They just turned it over again.
As usual, the ultimate jinx here for me.
Just a zany overtime period. This is McMahon. Bryant's got all the time in the world now.
There's a flag down. I think it's going to be offsides here, potentially. There it is. Yep, they now have got 7 players on the defensive side. So a great opportunity here. If I'm Bryant here, I'm waiting about 20 seconds before I dodge so you can maintain the last possession of this quarter on the man up and not give Albany a chance.
Johnny Hackett. Hackett forced out.
And I like what they're doing here. They're giving themselves almost the certainty to try to end it here at the end of the quarter.
40 seconds left in overtime. Hackett thought about it. In front, the shot bounces wide. With 27.1 to go in overtime.
Did everything perfect except put the ball in the back of the cage, because an offsides penalty is 30 seconds long. So now they have the opportunity to end the quarter, potentially end the game on the man up.
That's Salit who takes a knee on the sideline. Wow, Bryant with the advantage for the final 30 seconds. Can they send themselves to the tournament? Groninger up top now to McMahon. Goltz has got it. Monsinger in front. Hackett had it ticked away. End of overtime number 1. And that is the end of our first overtime, with the score still tied at 11. Double overtime to determine the America East Conference champ. So before we go anywhere, our officials, yeah, Matt, they're in discussion here.
What I think they're looking at is their man down, and is there possession at the end of the quarter? So does that mean no face-off to start the second overtime? So it mean no face-off, I believe.
Which would mean Bryant would have it to start our second overtime. A timeout, still tied at 11 in the title game. Bryant and Albany needs a second overtime to determine the America East Conference Championship this season. Tied at 11. Timmy Hackett's last second goal with 14 ticks on the clock at the end of regulation tied things up for Bryant. They actually had one last look at the end of regulation, a shot from Groninger that went wide that would have maybe won it. We went scoreless in the first overtime, and so overtime number 2 to determine a champion. La Liberty against Jake Piscino. Next goal wins. Bryant with possession. They had the man up. Clock just run out, so now we are at even strength.
Yeah, and something to keep an eye on there. So we weren't sure there would be a face-off or not. Ended up the officials said, hey, there'll be a face-off, but they were man up. And so they were able to have 3 offensive players at the face-off wings or across the face-off dot, and Albany only had 2. And so they're able to maintain possession. That's critical.
Next goal wins and sends one of these teams to the NCAA tournament. McMahon fires. That's wide. Backed up by Groninger. Groninger looking for a little separation. Can't find a cutter. Goltz to Hackett. Hackett lost it. Albany knocked it away.
Ooh,
Albany's got it. But then a throwaway.
Coach Ross could have called a timeout there for Bryant. Lucky for them, the Great Danes threw it out of bounds.
Each team with the timeout, to your point. Goltz bounces, game winner! Aiden Goltz sends Bryant to the NCAA tournament. America East champions.
Aiden Goltz had been quiet all game, but right now the hero for the Bryant Bulldogs, securing their NCAA tournament berth. We mentioned Tommy Heller for the Great Danes of Albany. Had a tendency to go low. When we take a look at this play here, Goltz is gonna bounce it straight into the turf and change planes. Watch here, Heller goes low. The bounce shot high. Welcome to the NCAA tournament, Bryant University.
Bryant, the preeminent force in the NEC the last decade plus. They conquer the America East in their first season as conference members. A double overtime winner from Aiden Goltz. Hope you enjoyed this one, folks. Bryant to the tournament. For Matt Ward and our entire crew, I'm Kevin Fitzgerald saying so long from Burlington. Next up, we go to Lexington for some SEC softball.